Good afternoon to everybody, and thanks to the Economist for setting up this panel. What is lying ahead in terms of RRF for Greece? And this is, on the one hand, the implementation, and Declan has gone into that for the payment requests which are coming up. And the second is then the dealing with the REpowerEU novelty. Looking at what REpowerEU is about, it has been adopted by the Commission as a communication on the 18th of May. It also includes one targeted proposal for an amendment of the RRF regulation exactly for then provide for the additional funding for REpowerEU for the energy matters, and second also to allow member states to benefit for specific rules in order then to move forward. It also shows that REpowerEU is an addition to the RRF, and it shows that the RRF is really an agile instrument which is able to deal with that. And looking back at how it has been conceived, it really shows that the policy focus was already there in the RRF from the very beginning. How does it actually work? It's an additional chapter, what is foreseen for the REpowerEU measures, and two broad policy areas which are in focus. Therefore, the first one is the acceleration of the decarbonization, and exactly in order to make the measures greener, to accelerate the implementation of that. And the second is the diversification of supply away from Russian fuel, especially with regard to gas. The measures which are falling under that, this is on the one hand the improving gas and oil infrastructure, and here I have to stress the limitations, therefore to meet immediate security of supply needs which are there in the interest of the Union as a whole. Therefore, this is not carte blanche to build a lot of new gas and oil infrastructure, but it's really only if it's absolutely needed. All of that has to be embedded in the 2030, 2050 targets of the Union. And what we really want to avoid is that this money is taken in order to finance stranded assets, but really only those which are necessary and which can also be used afterwards. Second point is, of course, the boosting the energy efficiency, decarbonization of industry, very much focus on hydrogen, which is also important for Greece, biomethane, and the increase of the share of renewables. And we have heard yesterday that the share of renewables in Greece has had a record high recently. Then energy transmission bottlenecks, which is really important between member states, but also within member states. And then, of course, what we are experiencing in all the member states, that the workforce has let's say, a lack of green skills, and therefore the improving of the green skills for the workforce in order to be able to implement all these different measures is one of the priorities. I said what is lying ahead. We are really looking forward to discussing these issues with the member states in autumn. As I said, it will be in an additional chapter, and this separation of the additional chapter should already make sure that there's no distraction from the implementation as such. The implementation of the plan is really still taking priority in all of that. And then, of course, the other condition is there that we need to have the regulation implemented. At the moment, it's in the hands of the co-legislators. We are looking forward to have the legislation enacted, but as we have done it also last years for the various plans of the RRF, we are looking forward to discussing that with the member states in parallel in order to ensure that this is being speedily adopted in the end.